Good morning, Cappuccino. It is day 5 of the homeschooling. So today is Flashback Friday. We're going back in time, back to last year, as a matter of fact, to look at some composite functions. So we have the functions f and g are defined by f of x equals 3x plus 1 and g of x equals a x squared minus x plus 5. I want you to find the value of a, this guy right here, such that f of g of x equals 0 has equal roots. Okay, so good luck with that. This is going all the way back to last year. We've done some problems similar to this, but look back at your notes. If you have your notes from last year hanging around, see if you can get some help with that. Okay, now I want to talk about yesterday's warm-up. I only had 3 people come up with the correct answer. That left 5 extra credit points just hanging by the wayside. Nobody picked up. That's too bad. So give it a try. Figure it out and send it to me. Get yourself some extra credit points. Okay, so again, first person who gets me the right answer to this warm-up gets 10 points. The next 3 people who send me the right answer get 5 points each. All right, such a deal. So go ahead and get working on that. Now, let's look at this one from yesterday. The table below shows the probability distribution of a random variable x. This one we have 2 variables that we're looking for, or rather 2 unknowns that we're looking for. So this is going to be a little more complicated than some of the other problems we did. So one thing we know, though, is that the probabilities do have to add up to 1. So 0.1 plus p plus q plus 0.2 has to equal 1. Now we have some additional information here. We know that the expected value is 1.5. So to get the expected value, we multiply x times the probability of x and then add them together, and that has to equal 1.5. So my second equation I'm going to write is 0 times 0.1 plus 1 times p plus 2 times q, okay, 1 times p plus 2 times q plus 3 times 0.2, and that has to equal 1.5. Okay, so I can combine like terms on both of these. Let's go ahead back to the first one. 0.1 plus 0.2 is 0.3. So this first equation, sorry, I'm not being very organized here. I did not do this ahead of time. I'm doing it live in front of you. All right, so I have p plus q plus 0.3 is equal to 1. And I can subtract 0.3 from both sides and get p plus q is equal to 0.7. 1 minus 0.3 is 0.7. Okay, the other equation, I can simplify this. 0 times 0.1, of course, is just 0. That goes away. So I'm left with p plus 2q. And I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. 3 times 0.2 is 0.6. Then I'm going to subtract 0.6 from both sides of my equal sign, and I get 1.5 minus 0.6 is 0.9. So notice what I have here. I have a system of equations with 2 variables. Hey! So I'm going to use the elimination method. Some people who did this use substitution. You could use substitution as well. I'm going to go ahead and use elimination because it looks like it's kind of ready to go for that. My p's are lined up. So I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract them. So in order to subtract them, I'm actually just going to multiply everything in the second equation by -1. So now my new equations, I still have the first one, p plus q equals 0.7. And then I get negative p minus 2q is equal to negative 0.9. Now if I add these together, p plus negative p is 0. Q plus negative 2q is negative 1q. And 0.7 plus negative 0.9 is negative 0.2. Divide both sides by -1. I get q is equal to 0.2. Now I can plug that into either equation to get my value for p. So I'll go ahead and plug that into the first one. Looks simpler. P plus 0.2 is equal to 0.7. So p is equal to 0.5. So there they are. You could also then, of course, check your answers. You could put them back in, make sure everything adds up to 1, and put them back in and figure out the expected value again. But I happen to know this is the correct answer. So we'll stop right there. Okay, so here's the new warm-up. First person who gets it done correctly gets 10 points extra credit. The next 3 people who turn it in correctly get 5 points extra credit each. The lesson will be coming in a little while. It's going to be more on those probability distributions, binomial distributions. All right, on your mark, get set, math.